Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
It sure is, and I'm Ralph in front of the camera
This time, and here's Kevin's behind the camera, so you don't have to look at me. But Ralph's in front of the camera because we're doing one of Ralph's recipes today.
I don't know what it is about spinach, but I love it, and I think I must have grown up watching a lot of
Popeye.
Sailor Man cartoons because I love spinach, and
in any way, shape, or form.
We actually did a Cavalcade of Food episode a while back where I made a mock spinach pie.
Yes.
And I don't really like to be in front of the camera, but it's been a while, so I thought, well, Kevin, we were talking about this recipe, which is, I'm just going to call it Ralph's Spinach Pie. It's an easy spinach pie.
Okay, I see.
And it's my variation on a spinach pie that I saw in a magazine recently.
Okay.
It doesn't have the phyllo dough or any of those complicated measures, which I know are delicious, and I love the Greek traditional spanakopita. But anyway, we start off with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil.
Oh, yeah,
appropriate for Popeye.
Yes.
No Brutus, just olive oil.
Just olive oil.
And we put our one whole chopped onion in there.
And I think that was a relatively large onion.
Yeah, and this you might know from before when we've talked about our styles of cooking that Kevin and I have. I'm less precise, much more of the artiste in the kitchen, I think, although he is, of course, too.
Free form,
but yeah. So you can use a larger onion or a smaller onion depending on how much you like onions.
Okay.
I think the medium-sized one we had, or a fairly large-sized one, is good.
Okay, so we're going to saute the onion up.
Saute the onions in olive oil.
All right.
Okay,
what do we got going over here?
We are going to put this delicious, from the herb garden.
Yeah, that is fresh stuff.
Italian oregano and spearmint from, you'll see the spearmint leaves.
Okay. So if you didn't have the fresh oregano and fresh mint, you could certainly use dry, right?
Yes, right. And what we're doing...
I like how you're chopping it.
Yeah, just using these what do you call these?
Kitchen shears.
Kitchen shears, and just chop them up, the leaves of the oregano. It's actually Greek oregano and spearmint, which you might think that's weird if you haven't cooked with spearmint before, but it really makes a delicious flavor for the Greek style spinach.
Yeah, it's mint is often a Mediterranean kind of ingredient. I know we've had it in a number of things.
I think when you mix it in with other things too, you don't get as crazy strong of a mint as you might think.
Well,
but you're smelling it now, aren't you?
Yes, now that you're chopping it, the essence, the oils or whatever of the fresh herbs really come out.
And I can hear our onions are getting nice and sauteed, and you give this usually about 5 minutes at a medium heat.
Okay, so are they we're
sauteing and getting them translucent because we're going to add them to our mixture.
Got it. Okay.
So you get a big bowl ready, and you get about 1.5 cups of frozen chopped spinach. Make sure you drain it really well.
Yeah, so this was 2 boxes. I think they are 10-ounce or 8-ounce, or not, maybe 9-ounce boxes of frozen spinach, cooked and then wrung out very well. I actually put them put the spinach in a towel, and I squeeze it over the sink. Okay.
And if you used fresh spinach, you would want about 2 quarts, and you would just make sure that it's cooked thoroughly and dried and chopped after that.
Okay. So
to the spinach that we're using frozen, we're going to add our fresh mint and oregano that we.
That's going to be nice.
So that's in there, and then we are going to add our cheese, which we have 2 cups of grated Swiss cheese.
Grated Swiss. Okay.
And
so this doesn't have a lot of times in spinach pie, of course, is the feta cheese.
Yeah,
so
this is like I say, my take on a different.
Okay.
I call it easy spinach pie because it's a little easier to make. So 2 eggs go in next.
Okay.
Or really, you can just mix them all in at whatever pace you want. Then we're going to put some dry ingredients in. We're going to use a 1/4 teaspoon.
What do you got there?
Of nutmeg.
Okay, ground nutmeg. So a 1/4 teaspoon.
So you just want to kind of level because a little goes a long way.
Yep.
And then we're going to just do relatively close to a teaspoon or a half teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to say a couple of pinches, of good-sized pinches of salt.
Got it. Nice.
And some oregano, some pepper.
Okay.
The basic S&P just gives a little contrast. And then this stuff is really all that goes in it. You just kind of, I'm going to turn my onions down. So when the onions are finished, and this is all mixed up, you put it all together in the bowl, and then you pour this into a pie crust.
Got it.
That's how.
So this is your filling, essentially.
This is basically the filling.
Well, boy, that couldn't be more simple.
Be easier. So I call it Ralph's Easy Spinach Pie, and you just got to make sure that everything's combined and integrated and mixed in there real well, so that you don't get a clump of nutmeg or a clump of pepper or a clump of salt or something. But
Yeah,
as you see,
great.
the eggs are dissolved in there, and the cheese is getting mixed in with all those wonderful.
How are your onions doing? They're smelling
delicious.
nice. Yes.
So those are going to go in next, and then when we come back, we'll put
Put it all together. Let's take a look here.
Yeah.
They probably have another minute or two. Okay.
You think?
I think so. Yeah, they're not quite
Like that?
translucent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll come back and put it all together, and then we'll put it in the pie shell.
Okay.
So we're making Ralph's Easy Spinach Pie. Our onions are sautéed in the olive oil, and we're going to add that to our mixture of spinach and about a quarter cup of herbs. And what did you say we did?
I would say it was probably about a quarter cup of chopped fresh mint and an eighth of a cup of chopped fresh oregano.
Because I just kind of didn't really measure. I just added it in by sight. And okay, so this is all mixed in with the cheese and the
Just
spinach.
going to mix those onions
So
in.
we're mixing the onions in. Don't forget there are a couple of eggs in here. And as I said, this is just a simple, easy version.
God, it smells great already.
Yeah, it does. And we are going to keep it easy by using these simple pie crusts that are already made. Of
Sure.
course, you can make your own pie crust if you're good at that. I'm not, so I know Kevin is, but you know.
No, you know what? Those are good.
Yeah.
So it's a nice. Definitely a step saver.
Step saver for the easy pie, easy spinach pie. And you want to get the ones that are, of course, 2 pie crusts. And you just
Right,
have to be a
'cause
little
it's a double
careful how you
crust.
handle it, because it can tear. But you start off with, making sure you have not too deep of a dish for this amount.
Just a standard pie plate. Okay.
And you lay the, unfold it, comes like this, the 2 are in there. We took the first one out, we laid it out on here, onto the pie pan. And
Okay.
as this is integrated and combined, the onions and all the other good stuff, I'm just going to make sure. And then we're going to plop it right into our pie crust.
Okay.
And that'll be,
There we go. Let me get on this side of you.
yeah, it does smell good. You can already
Yeah.
smell I wonder if you could, another variation might be to do this with rice, like a spinach rice.
Sure, why not?
I think I just made up a new thing, a spinach rice pie. Anyway, I just love those combinations of Greek flavorings and, like I said, spinach and mint and things like that. So I'm going to actually use my spinach.
Get it all.
Get it all. That good flavor is in there.
Right.
So
I know Ralph does not like to waste anything.
Yeah, my mom would be proud. She taught me well with that. And your mom too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Good. Okay. So
this is
gonna kind of smooth that over.
Yeah, we want to make sure that this is,
Yeah,
kinda
it's a
even.
nice full pie.
It is. It's a full pie.
That's why I think don't use a deep dish pie plate for this. Just the standard is good. Okay, so
now, and this is almost like a quiche, because I don't know if phyllo dough is really what makes it a spinach pie other than the spinach. But anyway, this is the top, and there, like I said, 2 pie crusts that you can buy already made, and saves you a step or 2.
just gonna roll it over.
And this just goes right on top.
Yeah.
And then you just want to make sure that it's connected to the edges here.
Yeah, because what the best thing to do, Ralph, is this is my thumb, is to first connect the bottom and the top crust. See, by folding them into each other.
Right.
And then.
That way, it's like a seal.
Exactly.
And I don't mean like a baby seal.
like a circus seal.
Not a circus seal, but yeah, this is just a good way to make sure that the top and the bottom parts of the 2 pie crusts are going to seal in all that good flavor as it bakes. And by the way, the oven has been preheating at 350 degrees.
Okay.
And then here's a nice easy step.
Uh-huh.
Kevin's good at doing that finger crimp thing, but I'm not, so.
That looks great.
So you can just take a fork and go around to make sure that the two crusts are.
That looks good, Ralph.
Thank you.
Very nice. I think too, and this is just somebody who's baked a few pies in his day. I think maybe let's get a knife
and
cut a few slits in the top so that the steam can escape.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a Z for Zorro or an S for spinach, or just.
I would just put 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Great, like that. Mm-hmm. And then, okay.
And even though you can see how it breaks down, this is supposed to serve 8, but we'll see.
Well, it'll serve you and me. And then you said you wanted to brush the top for extra browning, right?
Yeah. So here's a
just an egg yolk. Okay.
And a nice little hygienical brush.
Yes, a little pastry brush.
And this
basting brush.
Just go like this, back and forth, and bring out the artiste in you when you add this. It gives it a nice golden.
The egg yolk does, yes.
The egg yolk will brown the crust nicely, and you could even use the white back in your mixture, which we didn't do this time, but it's.
Oh, from the yolk that you're using here, we could use the white. We could throw the extra white into the spinach mixture. Is what you're saying? Yeah. I don't know what it looks like on the camera monitor. It looks like you're putting mustard on the top of this thing.
Put too much of this egg yolk?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay.
If it is, okay. So then, all right, Ralph, I think what we should do, we'll put this on a pan like this in case there's any little boilovers.
Right.
Okay.
And as we said, the oven has been preheated to 350 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this will fit.
It should. Go ahead. Put it all the way.
All the way in. Close it up, and we will leave it in there for 30 to 40 minutes, and we'll come back when we're ready to take it out. I'm sure it's going to be delicious, and the kitchen's going to smell wonderful. We'll be ready to cut that easy spinach pie. All right, the pie has cooled, and we are about to cut into it.
Cannot wait.
It's our easy spinach pie, Ralph's pie.
Okay.
Easy pie.
Ralph's Easy Spinach Pie.
So
it really looks great.
Yes, the egg yolk I was worried about if I had put too much, but no, I think it actually really helped give it that nice golden hue. And
look at that.
Like I said before, putting it in this glass plate has helped.
Beautiful crust.
To make sure that you can see that it's.
No one has to know it wasn't homemade crust.
Right. And then you can always do homemade if that's your thing, but it's not mine. So we are cutting deeply into it. Make sure that it separates.
Okay.
I was also just a little worried about the crimping or the putting together. That
Ralph, that came out beautiful.
It worked out well.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut it into quarters first.
Okay.
And then cut that into an eighth. And then we're going to get our.
Because you said it was you figured 8 servings for normal people.
Yeah, not us.
Not how we eat.
And then get our little.
Ooh, let me get a shot of that. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful.
So I'm anxious to try it with the, with the proportions of spearmint and oregano that we used. I think that was always kind of just an eyeballing, and then the cheese.
Let me just get it. I know it really. It's great. Okay.
So the taste test begins. Immediately you get that. That minty, spinachy Greek flavor.
Yeah. So the mint's coming through.
Oh, but I'm getting the oregano. The cheese, yes, it's delicious.
Oh, it's beautiful, and it's really, I gotta say,
I can't stop eating it.
It's on a beautiful plate. It's a beautiful piece of spinach pie.
Good choice on the plate there, Kev.
Yeah, that's great.
We hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Cavalcade of Food, and we hope you'll join us next time when we turn it back to Kevin, probably, because
you did a great job, Ralph.
Well, thank you.
I don't know how great I did on the camera, but anyways.
Sure, it was awesome. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on
Cavalcade of Food. Bye, everybody.
See ya.